Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Judyowiti. I hope that you're keeping well. I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you so much for coming along with me on this journey. Thank you for subscribing. You encourage me to keep going. Now, what do you do when you grow up in a broken home and the odds are stacked against you? When you question your very existence and you go through an identity crisis to the point of wanting to give up, how do you overcome that to become the CEO of your own company and to inspire so many, all while still in college? That's the story of Charles Msilanga, our guest today. Now, Charles is an inspirational speaker, a corporate trainer, a coach, and youth leader from Mombasa, Kenya. He is the founder and CEO of Personal and Corporate Development Company. He is driven by the need for people to live their lives' full potential and discover and maximize their true purpose in life so as to create a significant mark in the world. Karibu sana, Charles. We are so privileged to have you today.
Oh, thank you so much, Judy. I'm very much humbled and honored to have this opportunity to be in this particular session with you.
I mean, I was looking at your biography and I can't help but be amazed at the things that you have accomplished. I mean, I think I've only said like a small part of who Charles is in my introduction. And you're only 25 years old, you know, but your bio is longer than what most people are able to have in their lifetime. I mean, how is that? I mean, when I meet someone like you, I'm always intrigued and curious about your journey and how you got there, how you got to where you are. And so that's why you're here today. So you are doing incredible things, but it didn't start that way. Your journey begins with brokenness. Tell us about your early childhood.
Wow. I can say my early childhood was of ups and downs. My family had some issues. My parents separated, and this kind of affected me in terms of how I used to live and how I used to think and how I used to operate. And so all this made me to have a sense of making choices and decisions, which now I see was a reaction towards what was happening.
So then you go to high school and all hell breaks loose.
So in high school, that was the point where, you know, the separation between my parents was happening. It was crazy. It was rough. This separation kind of affected me because the two parties made me to be involved in that. And I was the only child. So I was torn between where to go. I had to stick with my mother because I love her, and learning from her, being raised by her, made me to have a sense of inspiration from her. All right. But still, things didn't change in terms of myself being able to know and identify who I truly am and what I truly want. You know, the behavior was still the same. When I was in Form 3, all right, something happened. There's this speaker who came to our school, and he did a very outstanding speech. That speech motivated and inspired me. God bless him wherever he is right now. And this particular person delivered this particular speech and made me have a sense of responsibility upon my life, and made me to have a sense of understanding and realization that if it is to be, it is up to me, and that I am 100% responsible for my life and what happens to my life. That regardless of what happens, or regardless of what people do to me, or what I do to people, I am 100% responsible for the outcome of my life. And that gave me a U-turn in my life. And this speaker gave me something. He gave me a book called The Greatness Syndrome. This book, before he autobiographed it, he asked me, Charles, what do you want to become after high school? Now, I wanted to become an economist. That was a dream, you know, that thing that you want to have And at that time, the former president, Mwai Kibaki, he was the president and he was an economist. And there was this perception that if you want to become a president, you need to learn and become an economist. And so I wanted to become a president, but that was just a thing. So I knew that for me to become a good president, I needed to become an economist. But those were just words he used to say, but deep in your heart, you didn't believe them. So he wrote to economist Charles Msilanga, and he gave me that book. Judy, that book became like a Bible to me. I used to read that book, and even today when I'm low, I read that book, and it gives me a push to move forward and to do something extra in this life. And that transformed my life, and that contributed to who I am today. And it is exactly 9 years since that event happened, because it happened in the year 2011, and I was in Form 3 at that time.
Do you remember who that was, the mentor?
Yes, Pepe Minambo.
He's a good one. I think that goes to show that mentorship is so important, that when we meet a young person, we should speak life to that person. We should always have words of encouragement for that person. You never know how your words can inspire someone, how they can make someone's life change for the better. So you finish high school and you can't go to college. There is no money. You hit another setback and identity crisis.
So I finish school. There is no money to go to college. So how the government works is that, there is this job selection. And by the time I was finishing high school, the job selection, they used to select B+ students and above. Okay. So I got a B-, right? I didn't get that level. So what happened is that if I had to do the course that I wanted to do, which was economics, I had to do it on a parallel program, which is a self-sponsored program. The option was that one, but there was no finances. So I decided to go and do CPA, which is Certified Public Accountants. And I go and do that program. And that was the program that we could afford. And so I decided to go and progress and do that program. And as I was doing that program, when I was halfway towards that program, not halfway, 3/4. So I had this family that was living abroad, and they were friends, and we used to keep in touch with them, but I had never met them before. So they asked me one day, Charles, how can we support you? How can we be of help to you? And I told them the biggest investment you can do for me is to support me in my academics and my education. And you know what, Judy? They said, send us your fee structure, we'll support you. And that is the time I got to learn or got to study this particular course in economics, and it is economics and finance. And by the time this video is being aired out, probably I would have been done with the last examination of that particular program.
Wow, that's amazing. The generosity of people and how that can change somebody's life. I want to take you back to that part when you are still doing the CPA and you have this identity crisis. It's said that broken homes produce broken children. Tell us about how your life was at that time, and then what was the turning point?
Now, this is what happened, Judy. When you come from a broken family, you tend to do things to respond to that brokenness, to hide that brokenness. Because if you look at your friends, at your colleagues, at your age mates, they have life all figured out, all right? So you have to live a lie. You have to, do things to impress others so that they don't see the things that you used to go through. You have to have a company that is a cool company that has things figured out and all that. So I was trying to live that life and getting into relationships that don't add value, getting into activities that don't add any value. And that is what happened. So one day I had a turning point, another turning point in my life. And in my school, they used to do Christian Union. All right. These are fellowships where guys used to come and worship God. Now, as they were doing this particular session, I got curious because they were singing and worshiping, and I was like, what are these people doing? I have never had such an interest in my life. Never raised in a church-going family. I never used to go to church. Actually, I think I could count the number of times I stepped in a church. There were guests who came in, and he had this book, The Purpose-Driven Church by Rick Warren. And he asked the students, which I was among them, seated at the back, who wants this book? And so I raised my hand, and everyone knew, this is the mischievous Charles. What is he doing today? Came to give us a comedy in our church or our session. And so this guy said, okay, you get the book. And he gave me that book. And so when this program came to an end and all that, there's a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine called Tito Ngoda. And so after classes in the evening, this guy picks me, takes me to church, and I meet a good friend and a good pastor of mine called Pastor James Imbo. And he tells me all this story about salvation and what it means to be born again for the very first time. And I get born again. And that is how I had another life-transforming event that truly made me to be who I am.
Wow. It's amazing how God can come into your life and just turn it around. Okay, now, Charles, there's a saying that says to forgive is to set a prisoner free and to discover that that prisoner was you. I want you to take us back to that moment when you decided, you know what, I need to come to terms with what happened in my childhood and I need to forgive.
I was very bitter with my parents, most of the time, especially my dad. And through all that, I realized that, I was living a life where I felt like I'm not getting the support I need from the people that matter most to me. This perspective changed also when I became a believer. And I realized that I was most of the time living a bitter life and living a life that is hurting me and not the other party. Okay, so I decided one day to forgive everyone and everything that happened in my life, even my dad. As we speak, we are in good terms, and I keep in touch with him. We relate very well, and I think this is something that many people need to understand, that forgiving doesn't mean that the baggage has left the other party. It means that the baggage has left you because you are the one carrying it.
I think that it's just good for people to realize, especially if you've grown up in those circumstances, that bitterness will not take you anywhere, that you need to forgive, because that's really when your life will take a turn for the better. So, Charles, you're currently a coach and a trainer. Tell me how you got there.
You remember the story I told you, that speaker, Pepe Minambo, who came and delivered this particular presentation and transformed my life. And he wrote that note to economist Charles. I came to believe 100% that there is power in words. There is power in speaking life to the lives of people. There is power in awakening the giant within. Because this first day I joined that economics class, I had this conviction in my heart, and this question was really disturbing me, and I had a question that I needed to answer. And that question is, what are you doing to those people who that particular speaker cannot reach to? And so I decided to, have another meaning for my life, where I looked at it and I decided that I need to inspire people, because if it worked for me, it can work for many other people. So I decided to go into the business of motivational speaking. And I remember as a campus student, I used to go to high school to deliver speeches for free, just to inspire those high school students to come to the realization that they can do, be, and achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve in life. And I decided to go in different avenues, different conferences, as a participant and as a speaker, just to help people understand and discover themselves and all that. Now, that was the beginning of me becoming a coach and a trainer. and I have been consistent till to date. I currently run an organization called the Personal and Corporate Development Company that I founded. This is the second year. So I decided to train people how to become great public speaker. I decided to train people on leadership, because there is the aspect of self-leadership. And in the corporate side, doing team buildings for companies and organizations, just to help people become better in their lives and in their journey. So that is what I am doing currently as a full-time job.
All this while doing your college?
Yes, all that while still a college student at the university. And as a college student, I've been able to also get opportunities to travel out of the country, attend conferences, attend fellowships, attend incubator programs. I have been able, by the grace of God, to do all this at a very young age. And that, to me, is actually God's doing.
That's amazing. What would you say are some of your accomplishments?
To date, Judy, there are people who are older than me, people who could be my bigger sisters and even my mother, who come to me for advice. There are people who are much more educated than me, who I am currently coaching and currently training. There are people who are much wealthier than me, who I currently influence. That, to me, is an accomplishment, because it is a sign that I am impacting this generation and I am impacting the lives of people. And on top of that, I have been able to help young people through training, through mentorship, through coaching, learn and discover themselves. Through all this, that is my biggest joy. And it has brought rewards, like being able to do this on a global perspective, to travel out of different countries just to do that. And that is a great privilege, because now it's not only that Charles serves Kenya, but Charles serves the world. I am now a child of the world, serving people from a global perspective.
What motivates you when you wake up in the morning? What is that thing that motivates you?
Many things. Number one, the thing that motivates me is my journey. I've come too far to give up on whatever it is that I want to do. And if God could take me from where I was to where I am right now, definitely He can take me from where I am right now to where He wants me to go. The other thing that motivates me is my mother. She has sacrificed a lot for me. And I always believe that she didn't give birth to a failure in this life. So by all means, I have to make her proud. The third thing that motivates me is the number of lives out there who have to get an understanding and the realization of what it means to live a life of purpose. You know, when I meet someone who needs encouragement, that motivates me. So those are some of the things that motivate me.
Your mama must be so proud of you.
Thank you. I believe she is.
So what's your vision for the future?
My vision is to transform this world. I want to reach out in my lifetime to around 10 million people directly, to inspire them so that they can be able to live lives of influence and significance. This is through coaching, through mentorship, through training, through the speaking engagements. 10 million people. And I'm trusting God that these 10 million people will not only just be a number, but people who in my lifetime, they can count on me the same way I can say that a certain speaker by the name Pepe Minambo transformed my life. I could also have 10 million people who will say, Charles Msilanga transformed my life.
That is good, man. I believe that you'll touch more than 10 million. I believe that. I think that God allows us to go through certain things in life so that we can be an inspiration to somebody else, so that we can give and bring hope to someone else. And you're doing exactly that. Wow. So any
Yeah.
word you have for young people out there? There's a lot of hopeless young people out there. People are growing up in broken homes. People who look ahead, but they're not seeing any light at the end of the tunnel. What can you say to these people?
My favorite Bible verse is Romans 12:2, which states, "Do not conform to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewal of the mind, so as you can fulfill that true, perfect, and acceptable will of God." That is my guiding principle in life. And I connect the 2 points in that particular verse. And the first point is learn to renew your mind. Because if you can renew your mind, you can reach the will of God. Young person watching, have a clear understanding and a clear conclusion in your mind that you are 100% responsible for your life. The moment you know that, the moment you understand that, you will, number one, not have this entitlement mentality. Because many young people, like I say, we have this entitlement mentality where we are entitled to this, we are entitled. No, you are entitled to yourself. If it is to be, it is up to you. So work on developing yourself, because that day you realize that this life, I am 100% responsible for anything and everything that happens to me. That is the day where you will learn and understand that the choices you make will make you, and you will be very keen on every single choice and decision that you make. And the other thing I will tell the young person who is watching me right now is that work while they sleep, study while they party, save while they spend, and you will live like they dream.
Wow, that's such good advice. That is so good, Charles. That's so good. So how can people connect with you?
Well, you can reach out to me. I am very active on social media. Facebook, Charles Msilanga. Twitter, Charles Msilanga. Instagram, Charles Msilanga. Reach out to me any day, anytime. And if you want me to help you, if you want me to mentor you, if you want me to coach you, be sure you will be in the right hands.
That was powerful. When you say
Asante sana. Asante sana.
So now to the last segment of our conversation, and it's kind of a fun segment. And so it's called the lightning round. So are you ready for this lightning round?
Oh, God help me. Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, so it's not hard questions. So your favorite food?
Oh, chapati and maharagwe ya nazi.
Wow, Mombasarian kabisa, all the way.
100%.
Okay, sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
City or countryside?
Oh, I'm torn. City during work times, countryside during holiday.
You want to have the best of both worlds. Okay, what are you currently reading, Charles?
Oh, here, I'm reading The University of Success by O.G. Mandino. Okay. Good book. I recommend.
Okay. If you could trade lives with anyone for a day, who would it be and why?
If I could trade life with anyone for a day, who would it be? A speaker by the name Robin Sharma.
Yeah, he's written some good books.
Yes, yes. He's written one of my favorite books by the name The 5 a.m. Club. And definitely, this is the person I would love to meet. And the location is Mauritius, because he talks about it. So yeah, Robin Sharma, he inspires me a lot.
Okay. And what's the song that is on repeat on your music playlist?
You see, there is this song, No Longer Slave of Fear.
Good song.
That's, yeah. I am no longer a slave to fear.
Love that song.
That is on my repeat song, 100%.
Okay, great. That concludes the interview.
Wow, thank you, Judy. It was great to be here. I had so much fun.
Yeah, so thank you so much for coming, Charles. It's been a pleasure. We are inspired by you. We are motivated by you. The Bible tells us to be the salt of the earth. and you are the salt of the earth type of person. You know, I'm a firm believer that that young people should be part of the solution, and they should not just be viewed as a problem to be solved. And you are part of the solution. So I really appreciate you. I applaud you. I'm so proud of you and the work that you're doing. And so just keep going. Keep going.
Thank you so much, Judy. Thank you so much. And I wish you all the best with this wonderful initiative you're doing. You are touching lives. You may not see it, but truly you are doing that. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I hope you've been inspired by Charles' story. We don't always have control of what happens to us, but we always have a choice on how we respond to what happens to us. Like Charles, you can give your brokenness to God, and He will take those pieces and put them back together and make it into a beautiful mosaic. And also know that you matter and your story matters, because it has the ability to inspire someone to know that it's possible to overcome darkness and be able to live a purposeful life. And that's all for today. God bless you, and I will see you in the next video.